I love tower defense games. I find them oddly satisfying and deeply engrossing, watching my machines mow down wave after wave of enemies whilst I feel all-conquering and all-powerful. Polycore Defense follows the Bloons TD formula, really. It keeps it casual, it keeps it simple. There's no, revolution here to the tower defense genre, but what it does is do it well and in a very playable format. Everything's in low poly, of course, it's Polycore Defense, but it follows that Bloons TD style of keeping it casual to the T. You have 36 maps and they're divided into 3 distinct sections, 12 in each. Beginner, medium and expert. But the difference is that beginner ones have one route that the enemies will take to get from entry to the exit and the core that you need to defend. On medium, you've got 2 lines, and on expert, you've got 3. The catch is you're not necessarily getting more money, and things can sometimes not generate enough cash or as much cash when you're killing it in order for you to recoup back your costs. So not only do you have the issue of I've got to cover more area, you're not necessarily getting the same amount of money back either. So it means that you really have to be tactical with where you press and place all of your different towers. This initially takes a long time to get going though, and it's one of the detriments of Polycore Defense as its kind of game setup. You only have access to the beginning stuff early on, and you have to play through each map in turn and win at it in one of the 3 difficulties to then unlock the next one and keep going through. I'm 6 hours in and still not reaching the expert phase of this, and so I've had to keep playing longer and longer and longer in order to get to the challenging bit of this game, because the early levels are really easy. The offset of this is that you also have an XP and levelling up system, and initially at the beginning of the game you only have 3 towers to start with, a minigun, a laser and a sniper. And that's all well and good, but as you then level up and through all the different enemies that you get and get that XP to level up, you then gain 2 things. Firstly, a perk point, which you can then spend to get a lucky purchase where you don't pay for anything, or a free upgrade when you buy a tower, or it could be that you've got up to 5 different passive abilities and you have to pick one when you take it into battle. It could be that the cooldown period for it being 5 waves becomes 4 instead. That's what perks do. The other thing is that when you level up, it then unlocks a new tower, and you get randomly given the choice of one of 3 to choose from. All of these towers are kind of staples that you see in other tower defense games. Again, nothing new or dramatic here, but they are quite well balanced. And the beauty in all of this is that as you mine coins and go through all the different levels as you go along, the upgrade tree is really quite fluid, and that's the best strength that I have to talk about for Polycore Defense. Normally in tower defense games you have very set, you can go this way or you can go that way, and upgrade and kind of mold your towers into slightly different versions of themselves. Very much when you look at Bloons TD, you have 2 upgrade trees for everything. Polycore Defense lays out every type of upgrade that you could possibly ask for with a coin price to it, but you can bypass certain ones. So if you don't want to increase the radius because you've placed it in a tight hairpin, for example, you can skip that and go straight to just strengthening up the bullet strength. Or it could be that you've got the flamethrower and you just want to increase the flame width instead and have a bigger flame so that it covers more of the area as it goes. It could be that you've got some big enemies coming towards you later on in the game, and you know that actually getting a better percentage of a critical shot is more important than just increasing the general damage or fire rate of something. So you can go straight for that. Every tower has about between 6 and 10-ish upgrades, and you can pick and choose exactly what it is that you want to upgrade for each tower as you go along. And I like that freedom of being able to go, I'll invest in this but ignore that, or you can just go nuts and have an all singing all dancing tower, but obviously at the detriment of not having towers elsewhere. This is the real dichotomy as the game gets much more into its 3-laned and 2-laned medium and expert modes, and it's there where the difficulty starts to ramp up and the game actually becomes engaging. The problem is that you'll have had to have played for a few hours to get there to begin with. So just be aware that you're going to need to put in some time and effort to get to some of that difficulty side or difficult area of Polycore Defense. And I think some veterans of the tower defense genre might burn out early and not get to see the good bit of this game. I think if there was the ability to have an unlocked beginning of one of each of these 3 modes out from the outset, you'd be able to balance that better. The other thing I'd also say is that there's a balancing issue around the length of each fight as well. So each fight is 40 waves, regardless of whether you're on easy, medium or hard difficulty for each map. But you can only speed up to like 2 times speed. So if you're playing through on easy, and sometimes you need to do this to show that you've aced everything in a certain level, especially if you're chasing Steam achievements, you're sitting there bored out of your brain, just waiting for the thing to kind of get to the end so that you can then go up to the next difficulty and so on and so forth. And it feels like A, easy needs to be shorter, B, expert or hard mode needs to be longer, and that difficulty curve needs to be a little bit more smoothed out, because without fail, like wave 33 and wave 37 are always the ones that tank you, never wave 40. So it feels a little bit inconsistent in the way how the difficulty curve of more and more enemies coming towards you comes along. I appreciate I've thrown in a few like real niggles there, and they are real niggles, but this is a well put together on the whole tower defense game. Does it knock Bloons TD off its perch? No. But it is a nice addition to the genre that I think some people will absolutely enjoy. Written review over on higherplanegames.com. Any questions, leave them down below. Cheers. Higher Plane Games is part of the Higher Plane Network, a completely independent media outlet supported by people like you. The goal is to create the best possible content that cultivates a richer indie scene for games as well as music and entertainment. To find out more and to get involved, visit patreon.com/higherplaynetwork. Your support makes all the difference, and in return you'll gain access to bonus content and downloads. Thank you for watching.